Greetings, creeps, and welcome to HorrorGirl Problems, the podcast / videocast. Thanks for listening, Mom and Nephew Noah. I look a little wrecked right now, but you know what? We're just gonna go with it. Yeah, we're just gonna power through, carry on. Let's go. Okay. Holy moly, what a week! Man, is this real life? I'm still kind of just high on it all. Haven't come down back to reality yet. I mean, I guess it is reality, but you know what I mean. Thank you to everyone who tuned in to the Fangoria Chainsaw Awards pre-show. That was so much fun. Holy shit, that was such a blast. Thank you to everyone that I got to chat with, all of the guests. Thank you to all of you guys who watched and kept the chat lively. There's some funny fuckers in that chat. I wish I could go back and read all of the comments because obviously I was missing some of them. But fuck, there are some ones that I caught that pretty funny. Yeah, you guys are pretty funny. I wish I could go back and see those. But I am overflowing with gratitude always, but especially this week in particular. Fuck, this was such a dream bucket list monster kid week, you know? So thank you to everyone who made that possible. Speaking of the Chainsaw Awards, segue! I have a cornucopia of new episodes piling up in the oven, and they are all timely and relevant. So I think you guys are just gonna get probably 3 episodes this week instead of me holding on to them and releasing them for over the next 3 weeks. You're just going to get them all this week. We are kicking off that trio of freshly baked episodes with the director of the Fangoria Chainsaw Awards show, Xanthe Pajarillo. Very exclusive, fresh off the production interview. Let's go.
Hi, Angel.
Hey! We were thinking alike a little bit.
Yeah, black and white.
I love it. That's awesome. Hey, congratulations! I'm so stoked for you. That show was awesome.
Oh, I'm so glad. And I loved your pre-show. Fun. Your whole getup was amazing. You and your background, wow.
Thank you. That means a lot. So thank you. Especially after watching your show and you kicking all the ass on that. I super appreciate that.
Thank you.
So am I pronouncing your name right? Xanthe?
Yes, that's perfect.
That's right. And your last name, is it Pajarillo?
Pajarillo.
Pajarillo. Okay, I was doing it the Spanish way.
It's all good.
Pajarillo.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the Filipino way and the Spanish way.
Okay, gotcha. All right, well, Xanthe, welcome to the morning after pajama party.
Yay, thank you for having me. I'm so glad I'm in pajamas.
Yeah. I was like, hey, you want to wear pajamas? You were like, fuck yes, I do.
Any opportunity I can have to wear pajamas, please.
Right. If I can show up to work in pajamas, yes. Yeah. So how do you feel? Do you feel like you have like a hangover, not even from alcohol, but just the excitement and the buzz about just a post-show hangover?
Yeah, it all happens so fast, and it's my brain is kind of it still feels like, okay, we're getting ready to show the the show tomorrow. It's still in high, I haven't been able to shut it off yet, which is with every project. I need some time to be okay, it's over.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of happens with any kind of big event. I didn't know what to do with myself yesterday, before the pre-show. I'm I have hours I could do something, but I'm no, my brain was no, hyper focused on that. So I'm when can I start getting ready? Because I'm useless for anything else today.
Yeah, that's the exact energy. It's how do you shut it off?
I felt kind of honestly kind of like prom or something. I was okay, I gotta get ready and do my hair and makeup and stuff and put my outfit on, and I was but it's way too early to do that. And I was when do I start get ready? And it's but for any big event, it's it's all this build up, and you're just you're consumed by it kind of, and then it happens and it's amazing, and then it's well, fuck, now what do I do with myself? All of my energy has been hyper focused on this thing.
Yeah, and especially with the crew most of all, because it's I was just my AD Becca, we joke around a lot. We're we used to talk every day for hours. Now it's weird not talking to everyone.
Did you guys watch on Zoom together last night? I saw you posted a screenshot of a Zoom chat.
Yeah, so a lot of us are still going to USD for grad school, and so we kind of gathered a small little group of USC students who could come. And we just watched like on our TV, but like had our computer next to us.
Together. Yeah, communally, sort of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like a screening party or a wrap party, I guess. The closest we get.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like if only it could have been like a huge shindig, but
Yes. Damn, next year. But I hope you guys do get together like in person when it's safe to do that and just like rewatch it together.
I know because it's so funny. Like a lot of these, well, most of them I haven't even met in person. Like we've been working together for a while and we just haven't met.
So you just know them virtually.
Like, yeah, most of
Oh
them.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's crazy. So how many people on your crew did you know like in person and how many were like, "Oh, hi, we just have Zoom calls while I direct this?"
Pretty much like I already know Becca, the AD. Actually, we just met, so even that was fresh.
Oh, okay.
So funny because we've been working together for months and months. And then the editor, Shaman, who's amazing, worked with him forever, have not met him in person. And
Okay.
yeah, Avo, Julia, have not met them. Um, yeah, like so pretty much Tara, the DP, I've met, like we've known each other. So yeah, pretty
Okay.
much mostly everyone I have never met. I haven't met the Fangoria team in person at all, except for Armin. So
That's the only one you've met. Wow. Okay. I was
yeah,
totally thinking that maybe you guys like all like or like maybe a bulk of you went to school together or something. So maybe that was like your crew that you like normally use. But I didn't
no,
even think about like, okay, some of these are just people that you're like, "Hi, Zoom call. Okay, this is what's going on."
yeah. And when I first met Becca, it was weird because I said, "Okay, you're exactly like the person in the Zoom box, actually." So this is cool.
And she's like, I am the person in the Zoom
Yeah.
box."
They're one person.
Yeah, we're the same. Oh, good, it wasn't a catfish.
I know, right? That's like the fear. You're like, oh, you're nothing like I thought you were.
Catfishing for her job. Yes, I can DP.
Exactly, right?
Show up with like a Kodak disposable camera. Man, that only takes stills. That doesn't do.
Like, oh my goodness.
That's cool. So what? I mean, shit. I feel like there are probably a ton of challenges directing a show of this. Like, this is a lot to put together, and then in any circumstances, this is a lot. You got all these people that you're wrangling, all the different presenters, and then the winners, and you just like there's just so much to like wrangle up, and then having to do that purely virtually. Like, what was that like?
Yeah. So thankfully, as far as like the presenters and everyone, the producers handled those. So they were like
Nice.
wrangling all the talent for the self tapes.
Okay.
Which so like as far as my team, we focus mostly on like the host segments and the
Hmm.
music video, and then I handled the script with David. So it was like a bunch of like little things happening at once with social media here and then self tapes here and then shooting here. But yeah, it
Yeah.
was crazy, but we all like worked really intensely together.
And how long were you guys working on this for? When did you start?
I feel like it was in February officially.
Okay.
Yeah, like ballpark. And obviously, we started with a script and kind of figured out how to structure everything. Like we had
Hmm.
all the categories set up already by Fangoria. So it's just like arranging things together, then writing like this host segments, and then thinking about if we wanted a musical act, and then the whole preparation of virtual production. Yeah, it's crazy. It's always crazy in different ways every time I do it.
Yeah. Did you meet David in person or was that like virtual as
No,
well? Oh
yeah,
God.
yeah. When we were writing the script, we just talk over Zoom and
Hmm.
then rehearsed over Zoom one day, and then the actual shoot would be live streaming the Black Magic camera to the Zoom. So
Whoa. Okay. Did he have to set that up himself or was there like a crew person, like a camera person
yeah,
with him?
so he and his wife had to set it up themselves, which
Oh.
they're amazing. Like we did have like Armin and Avo like outside of their house and set up
Hmm.
stuff and just let them bring it in. But they pretty much like, oh man, like like I really praise like David and his wife Eve, like just doing everything. It's crazy, like especially Eve. Like she really saved us, like handling like slate camera, help with the lighting and the
Oh
production.
man.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Wow. Yeah, that cool because yeah, I don't think like Unless you've been on set, I think maybe a lot of people don't realize like that's like 10 different jobs that you know what I mean? That it's like, okay, well, they're just gonna have like these two people just kind of handle it. Like,
Yeah, that's why I keep saying I praise like actors that are willing to do virtual production because it is
mm,
not easy at all. Like staying in character and then being like, "Hey, can you move that light?" and then and then do
right,
this.
and like, oh shit, yeah.
It's so rough. I because last semester we did our virtual production and like our first casting, the actor dropped out when they realized how much work it was. So I was
Mm,
like, man, I don't blame you. Like it's a lot.
yeah. Well, yeah, it's a totally different skill set. It's a totally different, like you said, like pulls you out of it. It's like, hold on, I have to like get out of character, be myself to like think about technical things. Like it's your brain has to go in like 50 different directions.
Yeah, yeah, it's not easy.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't have guessed that. I really thought that they had like camera people and like
Oh,
people in there like on set, like actually like a small like skeleton crew or something.
wow, man, not even.
Which I guess it was. I guess it was, but it was them as the
Yeah,
skeleton crew.
they were the skeleton crew.
You just see their name in the credits like 50 times.
Yeah,
Like
pretty much, right? Like we were able to do like the hybrid part of the shoot for the music video since it was outdoors, so we could be like safe and like under COVID precautions. But that even was halfway. That shoot was also virtual, so
oh wow. Damn. Okay. This is a whole new world. This is like blowing my mind. Like
it's a crazy world. So.
yeah, like if you asked me like, "Hey, I need you to like virtually like do this whole production." I would like I think it would take me a minute to be like, I really got to like sit and like think about like where to even begin with this." Like
Yeah. I mean, it's so funny because when I first did virtual production, I mean, I think everyone has this assumption that it's faster and easier because it's like, oh, it's just a Zoom. But yeah, it's like double the time of everything, double the energy, like
Mhm.
especially for whoever's setting up like the shoot area.
Mhm.
It's very challenging, but
Yeah.
also like fun in a way. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. Especially anything. I feel like when something is a pain in the ass, also, and then it's working out, it's like just extra rewarding because you're like, okay, this is even better than I expected it to
Yeah.
be.
Exactly, which is like why I'm so glad like you responded well to the show itself because I was it's like okay like the show's coming out hope people like it.
No, I'm sure you were on Twitter yesterday and socials and stuff. People were like all about it. I think people were super excited. It turned out really, really cool, and just the energy and the vibe was fun. David was awesome as a host, and just like I don't know, there were so many limitations, but I feel like you guys use that to your advantage. It's one of those things where you're like, okay, this is the box that we have to play in. Like, let's make the most of what we can do with that, and you did. So that was cool.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, like literally the team worked so hard. Like we had such a tight deadline. So everyone was like staying up late. Like, oh my goodness, like the final deadline for marrying picture and sound, like my shaman the editor was did not go to bed. Like he was doing it all night and so did Saranya the sound designer, sound mixer. Like 7 a.m. like we delivered and didn't sleep all that night.
Oh
Like
God.
it was intense. They are so hardworking. Like everyone's amazing. So
Yeah. I hope you guys are all just like, okay, we're taking this week off and just napping and watching movies and eating snacks. Like,
definitely need some snacks. Like I ate pizza, so I'm so
yeah. Yeah, yesterday at one point I was like, "Oh shit, like I should eat something." I think I like just shoved like almost an entire slice of pizza into my mouth at once. Like I was just trying to like
I
I was
love
like,
that.
"Okay, I got something in there."
It's like pizza is the award show like meal, it seems like.
It is, right? And it's like portable, so if you're like, "Oh fuck," and like scrambling to do something, you're like, "Whatever, I can like put down like at least half a slice in like one go, you know?"
Yeah, exactly. Perfect.
Just like a hamster. I was just like trying to just like, "All right, let me try to like get 10 bites
Okay.
but like simultaneously."
Like stuff it in the cheeks.
Yep, yep, yep. Exactly like that. Well, good thing I don't have to live stream the getting ready part because this is
Oh,
not a good look.
that would have been hilarious though.
I was like, no, nobody wants to see that. People will pay to not have to see that. So, oh, the music video part. That was cool. Whose idea was that? And then how did that come about? How did you choose the guest? Who chose that concept?
Mm, yeah, so I am actually, when I was younger, I wanted to be a musician. So I have like a huge love for music and like thinking about the pandemic and how filmmakers are struggling, but also musicians
Yeah.
since they can't, yeah, like perform concerts. And I was just thinking this would be so cool to have like a horror musician, like kind of be in the center of it to kind of also like break change like something different in the middle of the show.
Hmm.
And so when I pitched it to Fangoria, I was like, oh, here's a couple of artists. And then I landed on Smiling Beth because I was watching this Sundance documentary called Weirdo Night. And yeah,
All right.
you're like, weirdo. And I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
like a bunch of like self-proclaimed weirdo artists, which was amazing documentary. And Smiling Beth was in there and she was playing the piano with her leg, like all crazy. And I was like, okay, this artist is a like, who is this person? And I looked her up, and her whole album has this like cover art of like a girl walks home alone at night, and so it's actually a piano walks home alone at night because she's a pianist. And then I thought, oh, and she's Iranian, Filipino, and she's queer. I was like, this is perfect, like because Fangoria is really looking for like diversity in
Mhm.
their representation now. So I kind of like reached out, and yeah, she was super excited. So I was like, yeah, it all worked out in that end.
That was cool. Yeah, I was wondering. So she referenced A Girl Walks Home Alone in her artwork for the album.
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I was like, did you guys
Okay.
like listen to the song and be like, you know what, this is a good vibe for it? Because like I was like screaming at the TV. I was like, this is so cool.
Yeah, like Smiling Beth, well her real name is Jean. She is like a huge fan of that film, and that's why she kind of based that song about it in her cover art. She, she even told me that she tried to write Anna Lily Amirpour like a letter about how much like she loves her in the movie. So it was like a perfect fit, I thought.
That's awesome. No, that was cool. And that was really fun. And you're right, it broke up like the pacing and the vibe of it because it wasn't just so like I don't know, you had an hour to fill. You know what I mean? So it could be like we're reading this and then we're doing this and then we're reading this and then we're doing this. So it was a cool like thing in the middle of it to like switch it up and I was like, "Oh, what the hell's going on here?" Like that's cool.
Oh yeah, I was reading some of the comments about it, and they said, "What did I just watch?" And I'm like, I'm glad people are like kind of like
Yeah.
always the energy of like this kind of like surreal, like very weird. Of course, like calling back to Weirdo Night, like this
Yeah.
energy.
Right. People were like, "What did I just watch?" And you were like, "Nailed it."
Exactly.
Also, I just realized I said like, "Oh, reading off and reading off." Not that that was the vibe of the presenters or the
Oh,
winners at all. Everyone, that was like really fun to see people just kind of like get creative and like unleash it. And Travis Stevens? That one was awesome.
oh my gosh! Like yeah, watching all of the presenters are so amazing. Like Travis Stevens, like I was like, oh my gosh, like this is so good, and like Bitch Puddin and just everyone like had so much great energy. It was so good.
Yeah, that was really fun. And also like that's just a cool way to people like for people to put their kind of like stamp on it, you know what I mean? As they're given kind of just like, "Okay, well, you're in your house. Can you film this video for us?" And then some of them are like, "Oh, yeah, I can film that video for you."
I love it.
And just like
Yeah,
brought it and I was like, "Oh, that's awesome."
they really made the show so exciting too, because they're like the huge chunk of the show, presenters and
Mhm.
winners. So like everyone was like, I'm so glad they really gave it their all because it's so
Yeah,
fun.
100%. Oh, in the beginning, I rewatched it last night after the first time, but I missed the intro the first time because I was trying to like rush over and like get it
Oh,
started.
right.
I think I missed like the first like 3 minutes, and then people were talking about host parody, and I'm like, wait, I didn't. What did I miss? So then I rewatched it, and I was like, oh my god, that was hilarious.
Oh, I'm so glad. Yeah, like when we were Shaman and I, like we were like, okay, we gotta like make it seem like they're interacting with Dr. Fearless, So
Yeah.
I'm so glad it worked out.
That was so good, and I love the Dr. Fearless character. That was awesome. He like just fucking nailed that.
Gosh, oh my god. Yeah, I was telling like people, I wish Dr. Fearless were real because it's just so awesome. Like it's such a great character.
Yes. Well, I think he should be now. I mean, is there like any opportunity for that? I'm like, hey, Shutter, get this guy a show. This is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. Oh my God. Like Dr. Fearless needs his own show.
Yes, I would 100% watch that. And also, obviously, he's a fan of, like old horror hosts and stuff. And I know he had an article in Fango about that, just that
Yeah.
last issue. But I'm like, yeah, you can tell. Like, he like was like channeling all of this energy of all the great horror hosts past,
Mhm.
and he just like delivered. But
Yeah.
really, really fun to watch.
Yeah. He's so passionate about horror. So it'd be perfect.
I love that. Yeah. And God, like I was like so excited for it, and then I was so sad when it was over because I felt like it went by so fast. I'm like, I know it was an hour, but I was having so much fun, and the energy level was just like up here, for like this prolonged period of time. And then I was like, oh my God, it's done already. That was so fast.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm so glad to hear that because yeah, Shaman and I really reshaped like, like thinking about where the categories should be placed because we
Hmm.
wanted to make sure it kind of like felt like it was a like consistent like
Yeah.
excitement. So like to hear that is like yay, like we the team like we all worked so hard to make sure that it didn't leave people feeling like watching like the other award shows where you're like okay, when's it gonna
Mm-mm.
end now? Like I'm so glad it didn't feel like
No, totally opposite end of the spectrum. I was like, I want more. I was like, give me more categories. I don't know, something. I need more of this in my life. So then I just rewatched it, and I'll probably do that a few times this week.
oh yay.
Relive it. How many times have you watched it?
Oh my. I mean, during the post production, a lot. So I've like, yeah, like seen like everything, but thankfully it just brings me a lot of joy too, though, because like, I mean, it has like all these amazing people. Like
Hmm.
I'll be like, really, I get to like look at this, like all my favorite filmmakers. So it's like a huge joy.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. And I love that you're such a fan of it. And I feel like that came through in the work also. And I think that makes a big difference when you can tell that the people, whoever are behind the scenes making something, have a passion for it. Like that seeps through to the viewer. And that totally happened on this. So I was like very excited about it. And you guys should all be like insanely proud of this.
Oh, thank you so much.
Absolutely. All right, I have a question for you. You're the final girl. You wanted to be a musician, right? So you're very into music. Okay, you're the final girl in a horror film. What do you want your kill song to be? This is like the song that's gonna play while you're doing like your montage of like mowing down all the baddies.
Oh man, this is so hard. Because like immediately what comes like I feel like what should be a best kill like for a final girl death is like something hardcore, but for some reason I feel like it should be something happy like a pop song, like a Japanese pop song maybe,
Oh.
like something really bubbly like
Hmm.
Carrie piano or something like
Yes, yes.
or something like da, 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 like I don't know. And that'll be when I die. It'll be like a bubbly J-pop song.
It's just that though. It's just that little soundbite of you going "Do, do, 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 do," but on loop.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I like it. I'm here for it. I always like when there's a little bit of like a juxtaposition, like what you're seeing versus what you're hearing, and you're like, oh, it's like this is not like what you would expect, and it's like pulling you in two different directions, but then it works.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love that. Whenever I watch a movie and it's like a huge horrible scene and there's like a love song playing over it. I just love that. So,
it is my dream. I don't know if I will ever be able to like afford the rights to this song, but Eyes Without a Face, Billy Idol. It's like this like it's creepy, but it's kind of like slow and like pretty, and I just want to do like an awful, horrendous, disgusting scene while that song plays over it. Like that is on my bucket list dream. I'm
oh,
like, somebody give me the money so I can have the rights to use this song in something.
oh my gosh. Yes, like it needs to be done. Just like right.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah, and I'm like, it's got to be just like a filthy, disgusting, horribly disturbing scene with that song.
that's perfect. Would that be like your kill song for yourself or just for like something you make?
No, just for something I make. I don't know what I would use. I would probably use. I always forget the name. I play this song on repeat, but it's used in the New Craft movie. I think it's like a French artist. And it's just like a really cool song that I'll like listen to when I need to get like pumped up for something. And it's kind of slow and then it gets kind of dancey at one point. So maybe I would use that.
Oh, nice. I mean, French, I mean, great. Like they're great for everything. French.
My hood is falling off.
Uh,
Also, it's too hot for a onesie today. I did not know that when I put the onesie on.
it is pretty warm today.
Right? You're like,
It's like it's all good though.
as they're just like sweating. I'm like, why am I so shiny? Oh, because I have a fucking hoodie on or a onesie.
Yeah, the things we do to look cool, you
Well, you look cool. I don't know. I don't know about myself, but
know. No, you always look cool. Like speaking of looking cool, like your outfits, your like wigs, your whole thing is like such a vibe,
oh, thank you. I'll take that. Thank you very much. Is there anything else that you want to share with us today?
I mean, nothing crazy other than, yeah, like it's just to highlight like all of the hard work that everyone did, like from the crew to the presenters, the winners, David and his team. Like the thing I love about uh, like this whole like virtual production or like the Chainsaw Awards in particular is that it's like it's sure there's a lot of limitations, but it also on the flip side shows like what we can do as people, in a time of a pandemic where we can't be in the same room. To me, that's like super amazing, like so like it's so easy to fall into the hole and be like, oh, virtual, but it's like, look, virtual, like look what we did.
Exactly.
So
No, I 100% agree with you on that. And just, dude, so much shit is about perspective. You can take two people and give them the same situation, and one person's going to be like, well, no, I can't do that because of this. And the other person is going to look at it and be like, okay, these are the limitations, but how can I use that to like my advantage and actually make it maybe cooler because of that in some weird way? Like, look at Host. You know what I mean?
yeah,
like,
exactly.
like Host,
Perfect.
and then things like this award show. Like, those are perfect examples of like, dude, creative people are going to create. Like, you figure it out. You figure out a new way of doing things, and then bam, look at you.
Yeah. And like that's why I feel like a host hits such a nerve because it's like, wow, like they did all of these crazy stunts and like did this crazy story without being in the same room. It's just
Right.
like
That's inspiring as hell. Like that, I will forever just cite that as like a just a crazy inspiration. Or if I'm ever sitting trying to think of like something to do, I'm gonna be like, just think of Host. Come on, like look at what they did. Like,
yeah, exactly. And then
and we're
they even like came to speak to our class last semester when
oh
we just started,
cool.
yeah,
Oh,
virtual.
that's exciting. I would have been fangirling over that for sure. That was my favorite movie of the year, like absolutely.
Yes. It's like the movie of 2020.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was like, it did scare the shit out of me. Like that was one where I felt like I was 5 years old, and like I had all the lights off in my house to watch it, and then immediately after, I was like scared to go to the bathroom because I was gonna have to like turn the lights and walk down like a dark hallway, and I'm like, I'm a grown ass adult, and I don't even want to walk through my own home. And I felt like that for like 3 or 4 days. Like at
Oh
nighttime or
god.
like going to bed, I was like, ugh, like
Oh my gosh. That's like it's a horrible feeling, but it's also a great feeling to know that it's so effective. Like
yes,
such an effective
100%.
film.
And that doesn't happen a lot. You know what I mean? Like I love horror films. I have such like fun with them. But it's very rare that one of them stays with me for like days at a time or makes me afraid. Like I'm an adult, you know. When I was a kid, sure. Now it's a little bit harder for that. So it's just like such a treat when I when I watch something like that, and it makes me feel like the 8-year-old version of myself again, and I'm like, oh, I'm scared to like go and do this, and it's like fun.
Yeah. What was like the first like I guess when you were a kid movie that made you feel that way?
It.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was too young to watch it, but I was super into horror, and I wasn't allowed to watch like R-rated stuff, so I didn't grow up on slashers and shit. I watched that like as an adult for the first time. But it was made for TV, and I like begged my parents like, oh, like it's Stephen King, like can I stay up and watch this? And they were like, it's on ABC or NBC or something like that. Like yeah, that should be fine. Fuck, like that scared the shit out of me.
Oh my god. I can't, especially that's like directed towards kids too. So
Yup.
it's like
Yeah. I'm like he's
uh
literally hunting children. Like yeah.
like yes, it's fine for your subconscious. Like yeah, that's so funny.
Yours.
Because for me, like I'm trying to remember the earliest. Gosh, because like my mom, like at some point, my parents were the same where they didn't let me watch a lot of
Mhm.
horror movies, but then there was this weird pocket of like certain movies they would let me
Yeah.
watch, and I feel like I'm not sure if this is the first one, but the most memorable one was my mom showed me Carrie. And
Oh, okay.
it's weird. It's another Stephen King. Like
Stephen King, yeah.
yeah, traumatizing kids everywhere. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, it was that she had left the living room at a certain point when the hand comes out of the grave. And I
Oh.
got so terrified. I was like, oh my gosh, like why am I alone watching this scene? And that just like stuck in my mind. So
That's awesome. Yeah, I think that there was a lot of like really cool gateway horror when I was a kid growing up. So I still very much got like my horror fix. I was limited as to far as like you can't watch rated R things and stuff like that, but I watched like all like the made for kids, but it's like very very fucking dark and spooky stuff. And
mhm.
then like old like Universal horror movies like Frankenstein and Dracula and the Wolfman, like that was like my shit. Like I lived for that.
Nice.
And Twilight Zone, Alfred Hitchcock, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Like Psycho was like the movie that changed my life. Like so good. It
That's
really blew
awesome.
me
I love
away.
that. My nephew the other day, he's like, "Hey, do you think I could watch Psycho?" And I was like, "Oh, yes, for sure. Like you can watch that."
Yeah.
I just
Oh,
showed him Scream for the first time, so I was like, "Yeah, I think you can do Psycho.
oh,
I think you're allowed."
did he like them or
Oh, he loved it. And he
oh,
was like I was like worried that it was going to be too scary for him.
mhm.
So mainly the only thing, because I was trying to think about it, and I was like, it's just that opening that's like super super brutal. The rest of it is like it's pretty okay.
Yeah.
Scary if you're like 11, but it's like mostly okay. So we just kind of like covered his eyes during like the really horrible like intestines falling out and stuff. And then and then for the rest of it, it was great. And he was guessing like the killer. And I'm like, your guesses are too good and too spot on for like watching this for the first time. And then afterwards, he's like, "Do you think I can watch like the rest in the franchise?" And I was like, "We have a fan. Way to go!"
So good. Like I'm trying to also convert my niece. She's like also, yeah, she's 12 and she I'm like trying to do a thing with her where I make her watch movies and we talk about it. Like we're trying to do
Nice.
a podcast together too. So I'm like trying to like convert her to a horror fan.
She's not already a horror fan.
I know, right? Like I need to she's kind of like in the middle area. She's like
Okay.
because I showed her Warm Bodies and she was like, "Oh, this was pretty like cringy because it was too much about love." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. We need to get a little darker with you, I think."
All
So
right, Scream. Go Scream next. I feel like that's the perfect one.
we'll watch that one.
Like, luckily, my nephew is like very into horror, so we like talk about this stuff all the time. I was like I'm trying to be very cautious about like what I show him, and I'm like, are you ready for this? I'm not really sure you're ready for this, but now that we got Scream under, I'm like, okay, this was your gateway slasher, and now we're just gonna like.
That's awesome.
I mean, we gotta wait a few years for any of the ones that have like boobs and stuff. But I mean,
Oh
like
yeah,
the ones that don't have nudity, I'm like, all right, let's go, kid, full speed ahead. We're in this now.
just all the slashers, no boobies,
Yeah, no boobs. Or how to re-edit them and just like cut all the
Oh, yeah.
boobs out of it.
Go have like little emojis over there, like don't look.
And then he's gonna be pissed when he's like 20 and like rewatching it in college. He's gonna be like, hang on, like I never saw these parts. My aunt showed me like the whack version.
So, that would be hilarious to look back on. You'd be like, that part where the emoji showed up? Like, we're like, what? What are you talking about?
He's like, I thought that was what? Oh my god. Oh man. All right. Well, that's all I got for you. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with us today. Again, like you should be so proud. Like this was really just
Oh,
well done.
well, thank you, Angel. And like marvelous job on the pre-show and like pretty much everything you do with Fango. So,
Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm excited to see more of your work. Tell us where we can find you.
oh, yes. So it's at my website. I'll have to spell it out because my name is a bit crazy.
Okay.
But it's xanthepajarillo.com, which is XanthePajarillo.com. That's where
Okay.
my work is.
I will link it in the bottom too, so people can
Okay.
just like click it. They're like, hold on, wait, rewind it.
Yes.
X-A-N.
Perfect. Thank you.
Your name is very cool, by the way. It just sounds like a cool, like a power move kind of name. So
Oh,
that's
thank you.
awesome. So
Like
thank your
kudos
parents
to-
for that.
we found it in a baby book. So
Did they really?
yeah.
Okay. Well, it's still cool. They chose well. They were like, what if she wants to like grow up and be like a director or something? Okay, cool. We got the perfect name. It sounds very badass.
Yay. I'm glad I got your approval. So
Yeah. I'm sure it will mean the world to your mom that I was like, yes, thumbs up on that. She's like, who? What? All right. Thank you so much. It was awesome to see you.
yeah, thank you so much, Angel. Have a good day.
You too. And I'll send you the link when this is up.
Yay.
Okay.
Amazing.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much to Xanthe for joining us. She's amazing. When I heard that she was going to be the director for the awards, I knew it was going to be epic, and I still did not know it was going to be this epic. This is clearly a name to watch, so make sure you follow Xanthe on socials. I'll put the link in the description. And if you missed the Chainsaw Awards or the pre-show, I have links to both of those on the blog. The actual award show is up on YouTube, and the pre-show is over on Fangoria's IGTV. All right, that's all I got for this one. Again, I'm just gushing gratitude like a geyser. So thank you guys. Thank you, everybody. The amount of support and well wishes and just lovely messages coming in this last week is just kind of like just blowing my mind, truly. So thank you very much for that. All right, I'll catch you on the next episode for some more spooky shit.